Hello, today is Wednesday, February the 16th, 2022. My name is Father Howard Giles, and
I'm Deacon Aaron Giles of Jesus the Good Shepherd Anglican Church in Henderson, Nevada.
we're here to talk about World Mission Sunday. So, World Mission Sunday was started by Archbishop Bob Duncan.
Right, it was one of the new things added to the Anglican Church in North America liturgical calendar, and Bishop Bob Duncan wanted to make sure that mission was at the front and center of the Anglican Church in North America's agenda. So he asked that we celebrate that and during the season of the Epiphany, which is a time to remember God's showing forth to the Gentiles and to the nations, and the church's call to go forth to the nations, to the Gentiles, and to our local communities as well.
And that really worked well for us because we were founded in the same year that the Anglican Church in North America was in 2009. We actually predate the ACNA by just a couple of months, right?
Right. So as we were setting up our budgeting and setting up our liturgical and communal life together, it worked for us to make sure that mission was at the center of that.
And we had already kind of done that when we had made our budget, as you say. We planted the church in 2009, and we're thinking about our budget. We didn't know how much money we were going to have and who was going to be giving, and so we came up with a percentage formula.
That's right. So we take 100% of the funds that come in. We send the first 10% to the diocese, and we did that even before we were a member of the Diocese of San Joaquin. We wanted to support the mission and work of our bishop, at that point Bishop John David Schofield, and now Bishop Eric Manise, and the work of our brothers and sisters on the Diocese of San Joaquin. So the first 10% of our budget tithe goes to the Diocese of San Joaquin. And after that, we wanted to set aside 5% for mission.
So I just wanted to stop you there because the tithe, I don't want to go over that too fast.
Sure.
Because that's given us a chance to really talk about tithing because we practice it as a church. The tithe is, again, as Deacon Aaron said, that 10%. So if we get a check from our work for $1,000, the first thing we do is write a check for $100 to the church. Same thing at Jesus the Good Shepherd. If we bring in $1,000, the first thing we do is send $100 to the diocese.
That's right. That's the biblical standard of giving, and the Anglican Church in North America made that one of the duties of the laity, actually, in the Constitution and canons. That's an important part of being a Christian, is giving thanks for what God has given us and giving back to Him, which is what the tithe is.
Mm-hmm. And then we do this 5% on top of the 10%. So we're actually at Jesus the Good Shepherd every month sending 15% of what we bring in out. So the first is the 10% tithe to the diocese. The next is 5% mission giving. And so that's what we're celebrating on Mission Sunday at Jesus the Good Shepherd, is the missions that we've supported. We've done a number of different missions and a number of different percentages. It's 5% of what we get. So again, if we get $100, we're immediately giving $5 to our missions. And right now they're divided among 5, so that makes it easy, 1% to each.
That's right. We have 2 missionary families, one in Chile, Russ and Heidi Smith,
Mm-hmm.
and we've been supporting them, I think, since we were founded, so definitely for over 10 years, I believe.
Russ and Heidi, at least Russ grew up in Las Vegas, so it's really great to be able to support them. They have some deep Southern Nevada roots, and it's just been a real blessing to have them visit. Frank and Ann are in North Africa, and they also are from our diocese, from the Diocese of San Joaquin. And so, again, that's another local connection for us. And they've been in the mission field now for quite a while as well.
20 years, I believe, and we've been supporting them for almost 10 of that. So again, long-term relationships. That was one of the commitments that we made. We wanted to choose missionaries and mission projects that we believed in and give long-term, and that we're not having to decide every month what our giving is going to be, and they're able to depend upon the giving that we send them to help and keep them having stability, because we know that's important for a family and for a mission to be successful. It needs to have some stability.
That's right. So these 2 mission families, and then the third is?
We've been giving to the Women's Resource Center of Southern Nevada, That's our local crisis pregnancy center. And again, we've been giving to them since we founded. We support them in various ways. We've volunteered with them in the past. We give them 1% of our monthly income. We also collect layout items for them a couple of times a year and other in-kind donations to support their work with pregnant women and newly delivered women who find themselves in need.
And the really wonderful thing about that is that we've been able to volunteer in so many different ways. Our people have gone and folded clothes, and some have gone and done the training to be counselors, and we've been able to partner in lots of different ways with the Women's Resource Center of Southern Nevada. So um, those three, and I think then our fourth, the theological education, so giving to seminarians, we had all of 2021. The fifth we changed midway through. So what was our giving to those four? And this is a record year of giving for Jesus the Good Shepherd.
So just under $3,000 each. So $2,999.65 went to Father Frank and Ann, as we said, missionaries in North Africa, to Father Russ and Heidi, missionaries in Chile, and to the Women's Resource Center, Medical Center of Southern Nevada, along with in-kind giving that also went to Women's Resource Medical Center of Southern Nevada. And we pray for them every Sunday during the prayers of the people, and we ask our people to pray for them daily. So we try to keep this front and center at Jesus the Good Shepherd, that we're supporting these missionaries. Another commitment that we've made is to support theological education. That's where we've had the most variance. We try to support seminarians from our diocese, so we've helped I think a total of now 4 or 5 seminarians with direct aid. Mm-hmm. And then when we're not, didn't have a seminary, we supported one of the theological schools of the Anglican Church in North America. We want to make sure that we're investing in the next generation of clergy who are going to be shepherds for our people in the future, our children and grandchildren, that we will have well-educated and theologically sound clergy.
And again, that's just one of these every day, every year practices of giving that we have in support of theological education. The fifth mission in 2021 was just a real wonderful surprise, and that was the restart of Christ Church in Reno. And the church in Nevada has historically been kind of spread thin, and it is very difficult sometimes to plant and to establish those deep roots. Those folks just popped back up like a wonderful desert shrub, and I believe are flowering. And so we had the opportunity to come alongside them and to give them some financial support as well. So here we have these five areas of giving: our 2 missionary families, the Women's Resource Center, Theological Education, and Christ Church Reno. And again, this is every month when our funds come in and our bookkeepers balance the books and we see how much we brought in. We're sending that 5% out every month, so a check every month to these groups.
One of the most exciting things for me about it being a percentage like that is that as we're blessed and our income increases, we're able to give more. Mm-hmm. So it's not like we have a set amount. It's been wonderful months that we've had, larger giving, and we've been able to give more to these missions. It's just really exciting.
It really is.
That makes it fun.
It makes tithing fun for us, right? We know that when our tithe is going out, that we're supporting and blessing others. The last thing that we do in giving is almsgiving, offerings above the tithe. And that, again, since our founding, has been given to the Anglican Relief and Development Fund. We'll put a link in the notes of this video to ARDF. We can't, encourage Anglican churches around the world enough to support this fantastic project. We spent a lot of years praying for and giving to the Good Shepherd School in Juba, South Sudan, to some of the other projects around the world. These last couple of times we've been giving to the Joseph's Fund, which is ARDF's plan to do fundraising before some of these natural disasters strike. So rather than waiting for there to be a hurricane and then having to hurry up and try to fundraise, we're saying we know there's going to be disaster. We know that there's going to be need, and that it's going to strike suddenly. And out of the wisdom of Joseph and his time in Egypt, we're saying let's store up for those times. And so boy, we gave a record number again, I think, to that just out of these mite boxes. I was going to have one handy to show everybody, but did we give to ARDF last year?
$1,635.54. So that's change that folks have collected in their mite boxes, and it adds up together. And the other thing to me about the Joseph Disaster Relief Fund is that that way our giving is not driven by the media or anything else. It's driven by the church and the need of the church. So that ARDF has funds ready to go, and if a church around the world or around the country is in need, they can apply for that funding right away. And it doesn't matter if it's made CNN or not, the church is ready to meet the needs of our brothers and sisters in Christ because we know they're there and we want to be able to help them.
And those monies are sent directly to the local church. So the local church then is meeting the needs of their community. So we're helping our brothers and sisters share the gospel, share the love of Christ by giving these funds. So to me, and now 13 years at Jesus the Good Shepherd, and all the ups and downs, all the ebb and flow of life in a small church, this is still one of those things that I am as passionate about today as I was 13 years ago. Our mission giving and our almsgiving and the love that we're able to show day in, day out, and the way that it allows us to really talk about the tithe, not as a duty or something that we're forced to do, but as a giving that's done out of love and our response to Christ and his love for us. So thank you all for your generosity. Thanks to the people of Jesus the Good Shepherd, everybody that's given. This was a wonderful year in 2021, and we really look forward to 2022 and seeing what the Lord does here in this green pasture.
Blessings.